This is Lauren Burke. This is Lauren Live. I had no idea that the hockey game between Canada and USA happened 7 hours ago. So I just watched it live, and I realized that the FBI director Cash Patel is at the game. He used the private jet, the FBI private jet, to go and watch that game. So I guess the Nancy Guthrie thing is not as huge of a priority as it used to be. The word has it that our FBI director is really obsessed about hockey. And I think that the fact that he's over there enjoying that game and not really concentrated on the Nancy Guthrie case is interesting because lately there's been a lot of chatter on social media about how this case has been messed up by the local sheriff. I'm starting to believe that because there's nothing going on. It's just real quiet. It's real weird. And it started out with a bunch of press conferences, and now there's like nothing. Well, proof that the game was 7 hours ago, even though I thought it was just ending 'cause I was watching a replay on something, on some Olympic channel. At any rate, there's Cash Patel. This episode of Lauren Live is gonna be talking about the Nancy Guthrie case and whether or not the police might have made some mistakes here that cost the entire investigation. There's something off here. They don't seem to have any leads. It doesn't seem to be a whole lot going on the last few days. I'm gonna run the open, and I'll be back. Yeah, so let's get this little discussion started here. So clearly, something is up here with this case. There had been rumors a week ago that there might be friction between the FBI and local authorities, and I think that's starting to make sense. Just make sense. And Fox News, it was back on February 13, asked the White House spokesperson Caroline Levitt about whether or not there was friction between the FBI and local authorities.
Indeed exists between the FBI and locals. Is there anything the president could do to try to get the FBI in front, or is that just something out of his jurisdiction?
Well, look, the FBI, in order to take over the investigation, would, of course, need the local authorities to hand it over to them. And I spoke with Director Patel late last night, and he assured me the FBI has been on the ground. In fact, Director Patel himself was on the ground in Arizona this week, and that we are offering the full resources and weight of the federal government to help local authorities bring this case to an end, to bring Nancy Guthrie home. President Trump immediately offered that when this case was first heard about, when this news broke, and our hearts break every day that this goes on. And again, the FBI is on the ground wanting to assist in any way that they can, and they have. You saw last night, Director Patel and the FBI released additional information and photo evidence. They have also upped the reward for anyone who comes forward with the suspect. And of course, they have the FBI tip line, which they are actively working to work through any credible tips that can lead to a closure in this horrific case.
So that was back on February 13, almost 10 days ago. It's like, really? So Cash Patel's been on the ground, the FBI is paying attention, all this, and then of course we see this 7 hours ago. It's actually a video. I think Carol Lenning at the Washington Post was the first to report this. There was a video of Cash Patel at the Olympics. And look, the Olympics are exciting. I'm not gonna get mad at somebody. I mean, I love football. I love watching football. Like, I could see myself flying to Italy to watch something, championship game. He can't be faulted for being a hockey fan, but really, you're using taxpayer money and the FBI jet, to fly all the way to Italy to watch the championship game, and there's so much going on in this world. You're the FBI director, and this is what you are doing. This is what you are focused on. Yeah, I mean, that's highly problematic. I think it was Carol Lenning this morning. I had seen the video. I should have known that the game that I was watching only a few minutes ago wasn't live when I saw this, because she had put it up a while ago. It was like this morning that I saw this, and actually, wait a minute, an hour, 2 hours. Yeah, she's reposted it a few times. Okay, so, and I thought, "Man, that's interesting. That's an interesting video of the FBI director." And the first thing that I came to my mind was the Guthrie case. Um,
Let's go! USA! We're live, guys! Let's go! USA! We're live, guys! Let's go! USA! We're live, guys!
so, I mean, this is the FBI director. Now, look, the guy was what, a podcaster before this, so I'm not shocked that he's not paying that much attention to the Guthrie case, but there is something it feels like, and I really hate attacking in any way law enforcement. It's not their fault that Nancy Guthrie is missing. It's the fault of whoever the heck did it. At the same time, it feels like something is wrong here. It just feels there's a feeling here of something is wrong, and I don't know. The fact that we had the rumors about the FBI and the local authorities sort of being at odds with each other. Now you're starting to see various chatter. Now the chatter online, some of it is not from people who know what they're talking about, but anyone watching this, I mean, do you really have to be an expert to figure out that maybe there's some ego games between law enforcement officials? Obviously, the FBI would have more resources than the Pima County Sheriff's Office. I mean, that's not hard to figure out. But a lot of stuff going on that feels like the case is floating, drifting. Um, hopefully it gets solved. But the statement by the Pima County Sheriff that, oh my goodness, it may take us a year to figure this out. Are you kidding me? A year to figure this out? So, I mean, there's just certain things that are now popping up. I think people are getting a lot bolder in their commentary about what's going on in this case. It just doesn't seem to be a whole lot of information. Hopefully, the FBI was advising the family when they were making all the statements. And now, Savannah Guthrie is, I think the last statement was on the 14th. And we haven't heard anything since. And there's a lot of psychological strategies behind a lot of what was being said in those statements. I know a lot of people had noticed that there were some lines that were familiar from the movie Silence of the Lambs, but you know, there are a lot of things that are said that are pointed toward whoever the perpetrator is, hoping to hit something there that would make someone have a favorable reaction to ending this ridiculous situation. It is a ridiculous situation. An 84-year-old woman is missing, is crazy, and that there's no answer to this is crazy. And now there is sort of I would say, a drumbeat, a little bit of a drumbeat on social media about what is going on here. Uh, just Newsmax, I know, is not necessarily the most responsible news organization ever, but this headline from Newsmax: FBI frustrated as sheriff resists Guthrie kidnapping probe takeover. Well, first of all, he can resist it all he likes. I'm not sure how it is that the federal government who could take over the city of Minnesota can't take over this investigation. And it's not like this local sheriff's office is hitting home runs. There's just been a lot of running around. Remember they picked up that guy that was the wrong person. And then they did the thing with the showing up with all the vehicles, and some of those were FBI. Well, actually, it was SWAT vehicles. And then whoops, that was we're just following a lead. And then it was a Range Rover, and none of that ever panned out to be anything. And certainly everybody can understand that during an investigation, you're going to have moments where you have to chase something down and you might be wrong, but you should have chased it down. I mean, let's understand that, sure. But there is, I think, a feeling here that this thing is drifting. It is absolutely drifting. I'm going to talk for another 10 minutes on this and maybe come back tomorrow. Hopefully, it'll be some more information on this case. But the fact that Nancy Guthrie is in day 22, this started on February 1st, and now it is in day 22, is amazing. I mean, it is really amazing to me. But now you have a lot of these true crimers running videos about who's in charge, what's going on. Um, Knight will break down what's happening at the Guthrie case. It's just sort of, the who's in charge and the jurisdictional analysis has actually been the subject of a lot of true crime live streaming, and people who are really into the topic of true crime have now sort of turned a lot of their attention to the question of whether or not there's something going wrong in this case. And the idea that the FBI is somehow frustrated and the sheriff is resisting, or there's some ego game going on with Chris Nanos, that is problematic to hear, to say the least. But it feels right because there's nothing going on. There's been no announcements. There's seemingly no neat leads. It's just it's just sort of every day it's getting quieter and quieter and quieter in the Nancy Guthrie case. This was a case that, of course, was gripping national attention for that first week. And now all of a sudden it's become quiet, like really quiet. Other news is starting to take over. Some of these comments in here, in fact, may be bots about why can't the FBI take over. There's a lot of bot interplay that goes on, certainly in the ecosystem of certainly right wing media, but and X in particular. But still, it just common sense would tell you we're not hearing anything, and then they're talking about closing the street where where everybody's sort of camped out at the media and so forth. They're talking about closing that. There's a feeling that there's nothing going on here. There's nothing being learned. There's nothing that they're telling the public. Um, they had cleared the family days ago. There was all sorts of rumors about, in the beginning of this case, that it might be one of the family members, and it does seem like the type of crime that would have somebody that was closely involved with the person who is missing. Um, and then that went away, and it became okay. All the family members are cleared. I never got a real beat on who they were cleared by. Were they cleared by the FBI? Were they cleared by the local police? Please hit the like button. Thank you. Or was it something that the Pima County Sheriff cleared? I mean, I'm not clear on that, but now I'm starting to pay more attention to this. This is the week of the State of the Union, so that's going to get a lot of oxygen, a lot of attention on that. But at some point, the attention is going to swing back to this case. Hopefully, the last chapter in the case won't be bad news, but I am surprised at how quiet it has gotten over the last 3 or 4 days for the Nancy Guthrie case, because in fact it was quite quite a big deal for the first week. Like I said, first week from February 1 to February 7. So at any rate, TMZ and Newsmax and a few of these others have really been on top of what's been going on. And I don't know, the ransom note controversy and the wrong ransom note and the back and forth. That was another piece in this that got crazy. Brian Enton, of course, a true crime guy who's on the ground. He is out there doing a bunch of stuff. And actually just dropped a video. Latest developments here, including a 5-hour interrogation I didn't know any details about. So, Brian Enton is out really covering this. There's just a lot of speculating, but I don't know. They have a lot of former FBI agents who are involved in a lot of the commentary on a lot of these streaming channels. They have been really interesting. Um, what does this say for News Nation? A viewer asked Brian Enton how the suspect seen in the release camera footage broke into the home of Nancy Guthrie. Did they use lockpicks? Were there signs of a break-in? Former FBI agent Eric Dickerson Cortez joins Enton to give his analysis. I mean, there's just a lot here to talk about, and this is, of course, there's a call-in number for News Nation, so you can call in. That's nice. I don't know. That I just something is off here. Brian Enton, February 21, which of course is yesterday, regarding private search groups. The Pima County Sheriff just put this out for the sheriff. They were asked to please give investigators the space they need to work. We appreciate their concern and we want to find Nancy, but this work is best left to professionals. Yeah, that's interesting. Um, yeah, you can feel sort of a defensive posture building up as well. Um, but they're not ruling out that more than one person might be involved. Well, okay, but I don't know. I don't think I'm starting to think that they have no leads, that there's nothing going on here, and that this is floating. This is a drift. But that is purely based on what I can see from afar. It's really hard to tell what's going on here, but certainly at some point people are going to just be asking, okay, what's going on with who exactly is in charge? Is the FBI in charge? What's happening in the Nancy Guthrie case? Like, what is going on in the Nancy Guthrie case? I mean, I get that Cash Patel doesn't necessarily have to be on the scene for every second, but the fact that, 7 hours ago, he's using the $150,000 private jet for the FBI to fly and see a hockey game, it doesn't scream, focus on this particular case or any other for that matter. Um, Crazy situation, and hopefully it ends well, but of course, as the days go by, that indicates that it's unlikely to end well. But man, it's gotten really quiet out there. This is Lauren Burke, and like I said, I'll read up on everything that's going on and maybe come back with another report on this. But man, there's nothing happening in the Nancy Guthrie case suddenly. There's just nothing happening in the Nancy Guthrie case. And I find that to be odd. When I say nothing happening, it has just a feeling of there's nothing going on here. There's no announcements. They stopped doing the press conferences. Remember, the Pima County Sheriff just loved doing those press conferences in that beginning first, what was it, the first week he was doing press conferences left and right, making announcements. This was definitely an abduction. This was definitely a crime. Making some pretty bold announcements that police generally don't do in a case like this, because of course they don't want to signal the bad guy that they know a bunch of stuff, right? And Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos was doing all of that, and then all of a sudden he just stopped talking. Then it felt like the FBI showed up, and then Trump made a few comments that indicated, wait a minute, maybe they know a few things. I remember Trump was on a plane and made a comment that made it feel like maybe there was some inside information that was about to come out. Then that didn't happen. And we're back to this posture again. It's just very quiet. Everything is very quiet, and everybody's very quiet. No updates, no pressers, no nothing. So at any rate, this is Lauren Burke. This is Lauren Live. Just want to do 20 minutes on that. And, boy, what a situation. If somebody gets kidnapped and nobody has any real answers, it's a very strange and I'm sure extremely stressful situation for the family. There is the news out there that Savannah Guthrie is unlikely to return to the Today Show. Who knows whether or not that's true, but certainly I'm sure that's not her priority right now, and probably really far from her mind, further than she would have ever imagined. It's an unbelievable situation any family have to go through. It's fairly crazy. But anyway, this is Lauren Live. I'll be back soon when I read up on really I have to sort of look at Brian Enton's feed for more information on the Guthrie case. And there's another feed. I can't remember the channel. It's a really good YouTube channel that has a bunch of ex-law enforcement on to talk about this case, and they're really, really good. But I'll be back soon. This is Lauren Burke. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button. Really appreciate it.
Somewhere. What's going on? Thank you. Are you watching now?
Yeah. No, I was watching on the left, but it's excellent. I love it. I love the traffic's flowing up. You were in Brooklyn last night. Where?
I was in Bushwick.
Okay, my grandmother's house is in Crown Heights.
Oh, yeah.
So when I saw you, I was trying to look at what the pizza place was to see where
As soon as we got there, someone recognized the pizza place. They're like, we got to get out of here. Someone had
get out. It was great.
blown up our spot.
This show is freaking fantastic.
Thank you.
Love it. Love it, man. Love it.